What's up, Switch fans? Today, we're diving into the 20 absolute best Nintendo Switch games that you need to experience at least once in your lifetime. These aren't just great games, they're the kind of experiences that stick with you long after you've put down the controller. So, let's jump right in. Luigi's Mansion 3 puts you in control of everyone's favorite scaredy cat as he explores a massive haunted hotel to save Mario and friends from King Boo's trap. The Poltergust G00 vacuum is your main tool for sucking up ghosts, but this time, you've got way more moves, like slamming ghosts into the ground and launching suction cups to destroy obstacles. The real game changer is Gooigi, this green goo version of Luigi that can slip through bars and spikes to reach new areas. Every floor of the hotel has its own theme, from a pirate ship to a movie studio, and each one introduces new puzzles and ghost types to keep things fresh. The boss fights are genuinely creative, requiring you to figure out each ghost's weakness using your different abilities. Combat feels incredibly satisfying when you're juggling multiple ghosts, slamming them around while dodging attacks. You can play the whole campaign co-op with a friend controlling Gooigi, which makes puzzle solving and ghost battles even more fun. The game runs beautifully on Switch, with gorgeous lighting effects that bring the spooky hotel to life. Link's Awakening is a full remake of the 1993 Game Boy Classic, and it's absolutely stunning with its toy-like art style that makes everything look like detailed miniatures. You wake up on Koholint Island after a shipwreck, and the only way to leave is to wake the windfish by collecting 8 instruments from dungeons scattered across the island. The combat and exploration feel familiar if you've played other 2D Zeldas. You'll slash enemies with your sword, solve environmental puzzles, and gradually unlock new items that open up previously inaccessible areas. Dungeons are brilliantly designed, with puzzles that require you to really think about how to use your items creatively, from bombs and bow to the hookshot. The island itself is packed with secrets, minigames, and quirky characters that give the world tons of personality. There's a chamber dungeon mode where you can arrange rooms you've cleared to create custom challenges, adding replay value beyond the main quest. The soundtrack is a gorgeous reimagining of the original chiptunes. It's a relatively short Zelda experience at around 15 hours, but every moment feels purposeful and memorable. Astral Chain is Platinum Games doing what they do best: insane action combat with a unique twist. You play as a rookie cop in a futuristic megacity that's being invaded by interdimensional creatures called chimeras. The hook is, you control both your character and a captured chimera called a legion simultaneously, using a psychic chain that connects you. Combat is all about positioning your legion strategically while you're fighting, wrapping enemies in your chain to stun them, or timing perfect dodges to slow down time. You unlock 5 different Legion types throughout the game, each with completely different abilities. The Sword Legion is fast and aggressive, the Arm Legion is a tank that can break shields, and the Beast Legion lets you ride it for speed. Between combat sequences, you'll investigate crime scenes using your Legion's abilities to find clues and piece together what happened. The story deals with some genuinely heavy themes about family and sacrifice, as you uncover the truth about the invasion. Visually, it's got this slick anime-inspired style, with incredible action set pieces. The dual-character combat system has a learning curve, but once it clicks, you feel like an absolute badass. Bayonetta 3 takes the series' signature over-the-top action and cranks it up, with Bayonetta now able to summon massive demons directly during combat. You're fighting to stop an entity called the Singularity from destroying the multiverse, traveling between different realities and meeting alternate versions of familiar characters. The combat still revolves around perfectly timed dodges that trigger Witch Time, slowing enemies down so you can unleash devastating combos. But now you can call in giant demons like Gamora to go toe-to-toe with equally massive enemies. These demon battles feel like kaiju fights, with you controlling these creatures in spectacular showdowns that demolish entire city blocks. Bayonetta has new weapons like the Color My World yo-yos and the G-Pillar drill that completely change your combo options and playstyle. You'll also play as Viola, a new character who uses a katana and has a completely different combat style based on parrying rather than dodging. The game jumps between different dimensions, giving you wildly varied environments, from futuristic Tokyo to ancient China. Boss fights are absolutely bonkers, with scale and spectacle that has to be seen to be believed. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the first truly new 2D Mario game in over a decade, and it feels like Nintendo remembered how to surprise you again. The big innovation is Wonder Flowers, grab one and the entire level transforms in completely unpredictable ways. Pipes might suddenly grow legs and start walking around. You could turn into a Goomba and experience the level from their perspective, or the whole world might start singing along to the music. The new Elephant power-up lets you swing your trunk to smash blocks and enemies, spray water to activate mechanisms, and your increased size completely changes how you navigate levels. There's also a badge system where you equip special abilities before starting a level, like being able to wall jump or glide through the air. You've got 12 playable characters, including Yoshi and Nabbit, who don't take damage, making this genuinely accessible for players of all skill levels. Levels have multiple exits and hidden wonder seeds that require serious platforming skills to collect. Up to 4 players can tackle levels together, and there's a clever online feature where you see ghosts of other players. Metroid Prime Remastered brings the GameCube masterpiece to Switch, with completely overhauled visuals that make this 20-year-old game look like it came out yesterday. You're Samus Aran, investigating a distress signal on the planet Talon 4, where the space pirates are conducting experiments with a radioactive substance called Phazon. The entire game takes place from a first-person perspective, but this isn't a shooter, it's pure exploration and atmosphere. You'll scan everything to learn about the environment, enemies, and piece together what happened to the extinct Chozo civilization. Combat requires careful aim and using the right beam weapons against specific enemies, while also managing your limited missile supply. The genius of Prime is how abilities stack to open up new areas. Getting the Morph Ball lets you roll through tight spaces. The Boost Ball lets you build speed, and the Spider Ball lets you roll along magnetic tracks. Backtracking never feels tedious, because you're constantly finding new paths and secrets with your expanded arsenal. The boss fights are intense pattern recognition battles. The Thousand-Year Door is a faithful remake of the beloved GameCube RPG that many consider the best Paper Mario game ever made. Mario arrives in Rogueport, searching for Princess Peach, and gets caught up in a hunt for the legendary treasure behind the Thousand-Year Door, collecting crystal stars from different areas while battling an evil organization called the X-Nauts. The turn-based combat uses timed button presses to boost your attacks and reduce damage, so you're always actively engaged, rather than just selecting commands. Partner characters like Goombella and Koops fight alongside you, each with unique abilities, both in combat and for solving environmental puzzles. The writing is genuinely funny, with tons of memorable characters and dialogue that doesn't talk down to players. You'll explore diverse locations, from a fighting arena to a luxury train to a tropical island, each with their own multi-chapter stories. The paper aesthetic is used brilliantly for mechanics like folding into a paper airplane or rolling into a tube to slip through gaps. Badge customization lets you build Mario however you want. New Horizons drops you on a deserted island with nothing but a tent and Tom Nook's questionable getaway package, then lets you transform it into whatever you want over weeks and months of real-time play. The game syncs to your actual clock and calendar, so the time of day and season matches reality, with different bugs, fish, and events appearing throughout the year. Your daily routine involves gathering resources like wood and stone, crafting tools and furniture, catching creatures to donate to the museum, and talking with your animal villagers who move in as your island develops. The big addition here is terraforming. Once you unlock it, you can completely reshape your island by raising and lowering cliffs, creating rivers and waterfalls, and designing custom paths. Customization is incredibly deep, with thousands of furniture items, and the ability to design custom patterns for clothing and decorations. You can visit friends' islands online to trade items and hang out, or invite them to your island to show off your designs. There's no real objective or end goal. The game is entirely about creating your personal paradise at your own pace, which can be incredibly relaxing. Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reimagines Pokémon by taking you back to the ancient Hisui region before Pokémon training was even established, when people feared these creatures and didn't understand them. You're part of the Galaxy team, working to create the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokémon in the wild. The revolutionary change is you can catch Pokémon directly in the overworld by sneaking up and throwing Pokéballs without triggering a battle, though you can still battle to weaken them first. Combat uses a turn order system where moves can be strong style for more power but slower speed, or agile style for less damage but quicker turns, adding actual strategy to type matchups. The open zones are filled with Pokémon roaming freely, reacting to your presence. Some will flee, others will attack on sight. You'll complete Pokédex entries by observing specific behaviors, like seeing them use certain moves, or catching them without being spotted. Boss battles against frenzied noble Pokémon mix action gameplay where you dodge attacks and throw bombs to calm them down. Crafting plays a bigger role as you make your own Pokeballs and healing items from gathered materials. The story explores the origins of the Pokémon world. Pikmin 4 is the most polished and accessible entry in Nintendo's strategy series, where you command tiny plant-like creatures called Pikmin to explore a world from a bug's perspective. You crash land while searching for Captain Olimar and other missing explorers, then use different colored Pikmin types to overcome obstacles. Red Pikmin resist fire, blue can swim, yellow conduct electricity, and new ice Pikmin can freeze enemies and water. The game changer is Ochi, your space dog companion who can carry objects, break down walls, and transport squads of Pikmin on his back, fundamentally changing how you approach each area. During the day, you'll explore gardens, caves, and buildings that tower above you, multitasking by splitting your Pikmin groups to complete multiple objectives simultaneously. Time management is key, since you need to return all your Pikmin to the ship before nighttime, or they'll be eaten by predators. Night expeditions flip the formula into a tower defense style mode, where you protect piles of glow sap from waves of creatures. Dandori battles have you competing against CPU opponents to collect the most treasure in a time limit, testing your strategic planning. Metroid Dread puts you in the boots of legendary bounty hunter Samus Aran as she investigates planet ZDR after the Galactic Federation receives footage suggesting the dangerous X-parasites might still exist. When you arrive, a mysterious Chozo warrior attacks you, strips away your abilities, and leaves you stranded deep underground. Now you've got to fight your way back up through interconnected zones while being hunted by nearly indestructible EMMI robots that create some genuinely tense moments. The gameplay is classic Metroidvania exploration, where you'll backtrack to previous areas as you unlock new abilities like the Morph Ball, Spider Magnet, and various beam weapons. Combat feels incredibly smooth, with a counter system that rewards perfect timing, and the new slide and dash abilities keep you moving fast. The EMMI zones are the real game changer though. These sections force you into stealth mode, because if one of these robots catches you, you're basically done, unless you nail a frame-perfect counter. The whole game runs at 60 frames per second, which makes the action feel razor sharp. Fire Emblem Three Houses drops you into the role of a mercenary who becomes a professor at the prestigious Officers Academy in Garreg Monastery. You'll choose to lead one of three houses, the Black Eagles, Blue Lions, or Golden Deer, each representing different nations with their own ideologies and secrets. The first half of the game focuses on teaching your students, building relationships, and handling monastery missions. But then, a major time skip happens, and the story takes a dramatically darker turn, as former friends find themselves on opposite sides of a continent-spanning war. The tactical battles play out on grid-based maps, where positioning, weapon types, and character classes all matter. Between battles, you'll spend time at the monastery training your students in different weapon types and skills, eating meals together to boost stats, and having tea parties or choir practice to deepen bonds. The relationship system isn't just for romance. It directly impacts combat through support bonuses when units fight near each other. Each house offers a completely different perspective on the same events, so you'll want to play through all three routes.
My blood just happened! Was that helpful? I am maturing at a rapid pace.
Cuphead is a run-and-gun boss rush game, where you play as Cuphead and, optionally, his brother Mugman, after they lose a bet with the devil and must collect soul contracts from debtors across the Inkwell Isles to save themselves. The hand-drawn 1930s cartoon art style isn't just for show. Every frame is painstakingly animated to capture that vintage rubber hose animation aesthetic, complete with film grain and scratches. The gameplay is brutally challenging, but fair, with most levels being intense boss fights that require you to memorize attack patterns and react quickly. You've got a finger gun that can shoot in 8 directions, a parry slap for pink objects that builds your super meter, and a dash for dodging through attacks. Between boss battles, you'll tackle run-and-gun platforming levels to earn coins for purchasing new shot types and charms from the shop. Each boss has multiple phases that completely change their attack patterns, so just when you think you've got them figured out, they transform into something new. The jazz and big band soundtrack perfectly complements the frantic action, and while the difficulty can be punishing, finally beating a boss after dozens of attempts feels incredibly rewarding. Tears of the Kingdom continues Link's adventure as he and Zelda discover a mummified corpse sealed beneath Hyrule Castle. When they accidentally awaken it, the corpse is revealed to be Ganondorf, who immediately attacks, destroying Link's Master Sword arm and causing Hyrule Castle to rise into the sky. Zelda disappears, and Link wakes up on a sky island with a new arm that grants him incredible abilities. The story has you exploring a Hyrule that's been dramatically changed, with floating islands above and a massive underground area called the Depths below. The new abilities completely transform how you play. Ultra Hand lets you grab and fuse objects together to build vehicles, bridges, or weapons. Fuse allows you to attach materials to weapons and shields for unique effects. Ascend lets you phase through ceilings to reach higher ground, and Recall reverses the movement of objects through time. These abilities open up insane creative possibilities for solving puzzles. You can build cars, boats, planes, or whatever your imagination comes up with using the parts scattered across the Sky Islands. The weapon durability system returns, but Fuse makes it more interesting since you can create powerful combinations. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake brings the original two Dragon Quest games that started the entire JRPG genre back with a gorgeous visual overhaul using the HD 2D style. The first game follows the descendant of Erdrick on a quest to rescue Princess Gwaelin and defeat the Dragon Lord, who's terrorizing the kingdom of Alefgard. It's a straightforward adventure that introduced the world to console RPGs with turn-based combat, leveling up, and exploration. Dragon Quest II expands everything with a party system where you control the Prince of Middenhall, the Prince of Cannock, and the Princess of Moonbrook as they journey to defeat the evil Hargon. The HD 2D graphics blend pixel art characters with 3D environments and beautiful lighting effects that make these classic games feel fresh while maintaining their retro charm. The turn-based combat is simple but strategic. You'll need to manage your MP for spells, stock up on healing items, and grind levels in the right areas to survive tough encounters. Both games maintain the original difficulty, which means you'll need to pay attention to equipment upgrades and spell choices. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 takes place on Allrest, a world where humanity lives on the backs of massive creatures called Titans that are slowly dying. You play as Rex, a salvager who dives into the Cloud Sea to recover lost treasures, until he's hired for a job that leads him to the Aegis, a legendary blade named Pyra, who's been sealed away for 500 years. Together, they set out on a journey to reach Elysium, a paradise that supposedly exists at the top of the World Tree. The story explores themes of purpose and what it means to truly live, while introducing memorable characters like Nia, Tora, and Morag, who join your party. The combat system is real-time but tactical. You'll auto-attack while positioning yourself and building up arts, which are special abilities with cooldowns. The blade system is the core mechanic, where characters called drivers bond with blades, who serve as living weapons. Each blade has different abilities, elements, and weapon types that change how you fight. You can collect dozens of blades through a gacha-style system and mix up your party composition. Chain attacks let you string together massive combos with your whole party for devastating damage.
Why not? Yeah! Gah! Ha! See, Grumps? I'm getting better.
Octopath Traveler 2 lets you choose between 8 different protagonists, each with their own story, abilities, and motivations, set in the continent of Celestia. You've got Oswald the Scholar seeking revenge, Casti the Apothecary who's lost her memories, Throne the Thief trying to escape her assassin guild, and 5 others with equally compelling personal journeys. The genius is that while each character has their own narrative arc divided into chapters, their stories occasionally intersect, and you can tackle them in whatever order you want. The HD 2D visuals are stunning, with pixel art characters against 3D backgrounds that use depth of field and lighting to create atmosphere. Combat uses a turn-based system where you can see the turn order, and each enemy has weaknesses to specific weapon types or elements. The break system rewards discovering these weaknesses hit an enemy enough times with their weakness, and they'll become stunned, letting you unleash powerful attacks. Each character has path actions they can use in towns, like Oswald's ability to mug information from NPCs, or Casti concocting items. The job system lets you unlock secondary classes to customize your party, creating interesting combinations like a dancer who can also cast powerful magic.
My blade sings.
It's my turn. I'll cut you down. Like that.
Scatter before me!
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is set in Ionios, a world where 2 nations, Keves and Agnes, are locked in an endless war, where soldiers are born from pods with only 10 years to live, spending their entire lives fighting. You control 6 characters, 3 from each nation, Noah, Lance, and Uni from Keves, and Mio, Tyon, and Senna from Agnes. When these 2 enemy groups encounter each other, they discover they can fuse into powerful Ouroboros forms and begin questioning everything they've been taught about their world and their purpose. The combat evolves the series formula by letting you control all 6 party members on the fly by switching between them during battle. Each character can switch between 3 classes, giving you incredible flexibility in combat roles. The Ouroboros transformations let pairs of characters fuse into massive forms with devastating abilities that completely change the flow of battle. The world is enormous, with 7 distinct regions connected by massive structures, and the story tackles heavy themes about mortality, purpose, and the cost of war. Character development is the strongest in the series, with genuine emotional moments between party members as they form bonds. Dragon Quest XI's follows the story of a young man who discovers on his coming-of-age ceremony that he's the reincarnation of the legendary Luminary, a hero destined to save the world. But when he reports this to the king, he's branded as a darkspawn and must flee, beginning a journey to understand his true purpose while being hunted. You'll travel across the incredibly diverse world of Erdrea, recruiting party members like the thief Eric, the martial artist Jade, and the flamboyant performer Sylvando. The turn-based combat is classic JRPG stuff, but refined to perfection. You'll exploit enemy weaknesses, manage your MP, and use pep powers, which are special team attacks that trigger when characters get fired up in battle. The Draconian Quest difficulty modifiers let you customize the challenge if you want. Each character has a skill tree where you can specialize them in different weapon types or spell schools. The story takes a massive twist at a certain point that completely changes the tone and raises the stakes dramatically. The Switch version includes full orchestral music, a 16-bit mode that lets you play the entire game in classic 2D Dragon Quest style, and additional character stories that weren't in the original release.
Go on! You can do it!
Breath of the Wild starts with Link waking up from a 100-year sleep in the Shrine of Resurrection, with no memories, learning that Calamity Ganon destroyed Hyrule a century ago and is now contained inside Hyrule Castle by Princess Zelda's power, which is weakening. Your quest is to explore the vast open world of Hyrule, recover your lost memories, free the 4 divine beasts from Ganon's control, and become strong enough to defeat Ganon and save Zelda. This game revolutionized open world design by letting you go anywhere you can see. If you can see a mountain in the distance, you can climb it. The climbing system lets you scale virtually any surface as long as you have stamina. You'll need to manage the weather too, since rain makes surfaces slippery and thunderstorms will strike you if you're wearing metal equipment. The physics and chemistry systems create emergent gameplay, where fire spreads naturally, metal conducts electricity, and you can combine elements in creative ways. Weapons break after extended use, which forces you to constantly adapt and try new equipment, rather than relying on one favorite sword. The 4 divine beasts are massive mechanical dungeons that you can manipulate in real time, and the 120 shrines scattered across Hyrule offer bite-sized puzzle challenges. Cooking lets you combine ingredients to create meals that restore health or grant temporary buffs. And that's the list. 20 Nintendo Switch games that represent some of the best experiences you can have on the console. What games would make your personal top 20? Drop your picks in the comments below. I'd love to see what resonates with you all. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to Switch Top for more Switch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.